How about if Give It 10 gave you an extra 10 years of your life, or an extra 10 years of independence in your life? Wouldn't that be good? If we start making these little 1-degree lifestyle changes and maintain them, then we can end up in a whole different direction. So they used to say that if exercise was put in a pill, if the effects of exercise was put in a pill and everyone took one every day, that it would be described as a new miracle cure. And it really would. Growing old with dignity. It's all about growing old with dignity. It's being able to get up off the floor. The win is in the one. So yes, I call it Give It 10, but just do one. If you just do one squat, one press up, 1 minute of exercise, even just 1 second of mindfulness, it really makes all the difference. The win is in the one. Start with one, make it easy, and work up from there. What's your trigger to do an exercise? How can you make it easy? And why do you need to do it? Good morning, welcome to the channel. So I wanted to expand a little bit more on Give It 10s, just tell you a little bit more about them. I mentioned it in my first video, but basically Give It 10 is 10 seconds, 10 reps, 10 minutes. Little things that you can do throughout the day and attach it to things you're already doing, which means you get some exercise in your day, but without it actually taking any extra time. Because most people, it came about because, sorry, the dog just tends to just stand there sometimes. Maggie, come on. A lot of people used to say to me, especially, the women that I train, busy mums, have jobs, got all sorts of stuff to deal with, said, Jen, I'd love to go to the gym, or actually a lot of them, to be honest, don't want to go to the gym. But they say to me, I just don't have time to train. When I was a PT, I'd write training programs for them, stuff you can do from home, but they still say, Jen, we're the best one in the world to do this stuff, but then something happens with the kids, something happens with life, and I just don't get round to doing this training. And I just started, Maggie just stands there sometimes. Maggie, come on Maggie, moo, good girl. I just stand here and hide. She might just come out and wonder where I am, possibly, maybe. Probably because it's just started raining. She's like, I want to go home. Anyway, yeah, so people would tell me, I don't have time to train. So I say, well, Give It 10. Why not just do 10 press-ups on the kitchen counter while the kettle's boiling? Why not do 10 squats when you're cleaning your teeth, or just after you clean your teeth? There she comes. There she is. She's like, where were you? I'll give her a little treat. Just bear with me a second. Maggie, no, come on then. Come on, you daft dog. Come on, have a little treat. Maggie, here. Here. Good girl. Come here. Good girl. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Treats always win. Why not do 10 lunges before you sit at your desk in the office, maybe? What a favourite one for me is, because I work at home, but I work in one of the bedrooms upstairs, is when I go downstairs for lunch generally, is I will go up and down the flight of stairs 10 times. And to upgrade that, I will carry a kettlebell with me sometimes. Sometimes I just put a kettlebell at the bottom of the stairs, and rather than just go up and down it 10 times, because quite often I forget, is I will just carry the kettlebell with me as I go upstairs. And then when it's up at the top of the stairs, and when I go downstairs, I'll carry it downstairs with me. So there's all sorts of little things you can do that just basically can start to take your life in a different direction. So what I think about it is, I used to be an air traffic controller in the Royal Air Force. And if I gave the aircraft literally just a couple of degrees heading change, over the course of 100, 200 miles, it would end up in an entirely different location. And it's a bit like that with life. If we start making these little 1-degree lifestyle changes and maintain them, then we can end up in a whole different direction. It could mean that by the time we get to 80, we can still wipe our own arse. We can still get up off the floor. We don't know what it could do, but we know that it could potentially, add years to your life. How about if Give It 10 gave you an extra 10 years of your life, or an extra 10 years of independence in your life? Wouldn't that be good? But we do know, obviously studies have shown that by taking these actions to keep our movement every day, strength every day, we do offset the possibility of all sorts of related illnesses and diseases and and just movement limitations really, and injury, and all sorts of stuff. So they used to say that if exercise was put in a pill, if the effects of exercise was put in a pill and everyone took one every day, that it would be described as a new miracle cure. And it really would. Obviously that, the whole package is to eat well as well. And I have a bit of an 80-20 rule, although it's probably more like 70-30 or even 60-40 sometimes. But, the majority of times eating well, and then those other times maybe not quite so optimally, but definitely getting a good old selection of fruit and veggie in every single day. Gut health. We'll talk more about gut health on another video, but for now, just wanted to explain that a little bit more about Give It 10. So what can you do every day? What do you do every day that you can add a Give It 10 to? Whether that's just 10 seconds or something, whether that's 10 repetitions, or whether that's 10 minutes of an actual exercise routine, or a stretching routine, or a meditation routine. Okay, time to stop talking. I'm out on a dog walk, and I definitely get some Give It 10s when I'm out. Get some Give It 10s in when I'm out on a walk. So let's do some lunges. And don't forget, if you're watching this, do them along with me. You don't have to just watch. I'm all about taking action. So I don't want people to passively sit and watch these videos, or great if you do, and thank you. But what I'd love for you to do is actually, when I stop and do a Give It 10, is to actually do them with me. Because most of the time I'll be doing them without kit, although later videos I will actually do 10-minute videos with kit, because it just makes it a bit more interesting. Like, I love to use my kettlebells, and I've just started swinging again at the moment, so we'll do some swinging videos. Not that kind of swinging videos. We'll do some kettlebell swinging videos and kettlebell stuff. But for now, let's do 10 lunges. That's 10. So obviously there's a ton of different stuff you can do, but quite often people just say, Jen, I forget to do a Give It 10. I mean to. I like the idea. I think it's brilliant, but I forget to do them. So then I thought, well, how can I help people remember to do them? And I thought, well, I do mine because I tie them into something I'm already doing. So whether that's in the shower and I blast myself with cold water, just bear with me a second. Maggie, come on. There's another dog there, she'll start barking now. Stand by. So yeah, what can I tie Give It 10s to? So like when I'm in the cold shower, one of my Give It 10s is to, it started off being 10 seconds, was to blast my body with cold water, because I'm a bit of a cold water swimmer. You'll see some of those videos as time goes on. But yeah, just to prepare my body, and also because it's really good for you. So it started off with 10 seconds. It's probably now a minute or so. Literally just have my hot shower, have a wash, blast my body with cold water. And that's something, like, it's so ingrained in me now. Those neural pathways in my brain are just kind of connected, and it's just what I do without even thinking about it these days. It's just turn the shower to cold at the end of the day. At the end of the shower, have a cold shower, have a cold blast for 10 seconds or a minute or so. But what else? So yeah, when the kettle boils, I'll quite often do 10 press-ups on the kitchen floor, progress from the kitchen counters to now doing them on the floor. So the strength is there. It's working. What you do consistently gets you results. Obviously lunges, press-ups on benches, tricep dips when I'm out walking the dog. There are so many different things you can do. And talking about out walking the dog, let's do another exercise. Join in with me. It doesn't have to be anything complicated, just do something. Make it up as you go along. So where was I? Oh yeah, so I was trying to think of a way to remind people to do these things. So what can you tie it into? So I thought, well, it's Give It 10, right? So let's try and think of something TEN to make it work. And I figured that the T could be the trigger. So what's your trigger to do a Give It 10? Is it just getting out the shower? Is it cleaning your teeth? Is it putting the kettle on? Is it walking into the kitchen? Is it getting in your car? There's lots of exercises you can do in the car. We'll do another video on that. Is it, getting home from work as you walk through the front door? There's loads of triggers. And again, keep following this channel, and I'll give you all sorts of ideas that you can use as a trigger to do your Give It 10s. So the E, and I kind of mentioned this on the first video, is how do we make it easy? The win is in the one. So yes, I call it give it 10, but just do one. You know, if you just do one squat, one press up, 1 minute of exercise, even just 1 second of mindfulness, it really makes all the difference. The win is in the one. Start with one, make it easy, and work up from there. So that's the E for easy. And then N was the need. So really, a lot of people won't do exercise, won't move, won't look after themselves unless they, quite often it happens when they have a health scare or someone in their family has a health scare, and then they suddenly think, actually, maybe I should be taking better care of myself. Now, why do you need to exercise? And I really want you to dial down on this. Why is it important to you? For me, growing old with dignity. It's all about growing old with dignity. It's being able to get up off the floor. I've got a fabulous client at the moment who's 79, and we're doing floor work at the moment. And, you know, already she's seeing an improvement and she's able to get up and down off the floor, which it just means the world to me. And, you know, and obviously she's enjoying it too. Well, actually, she doesn't love it, to be fair, but we're taking it easy and she sees the benefit of it. Anyway, so yeah, why do you need to do this? So the TEN, what's your trigger to do an exercise? How can you make it easy? And why do you need to do it? Now, it could end there, so that's 10, right? But what I discovered in my habit research is that you need to celebrate your wins, because when you celebrate your wins, you release a little bit of dopamine. Now, we know that we get hooked on phones, on games, on Netflix, on the next episode, because we get a dopamine release from things we enjoy, and the brain goes, oh, we like that. We're going to release a bit of dopamine, so the brain goes, oh, we like dopamine. We'll remember to do that activity again. Just bear with me a second. We just got a dog coming up. Oh, what a very nice man he was. Okay, where was I? Oh, yes, so how do we remember to do these things? We want to release a little bit of dopamine. So you might not feel much joy when you do an exercise, but you should be. You should feel a certain amount of satisfaction, but we want to kind of manufacture that dopamine, if you like. So we want to celebrate. And literally, I want you to now imagine you've just bought yourself a scratch card and you're sitting there with your 2p coin and you're scratching off those little silver boxes, and you suddenly see that you've matched the three things, or that you've uncovered the cross, or whatever it is, the cross fingers, and you've won yourself £10,000, £20,000. What would you do in that moment? Maggie, come on. What would you do? So for some people, they'd be like, woohoo, dancing around the house. Some people would just be like a fist bump. Some people would just be like a big grin. Depends on, you know, on your own style. But I want you to imagine that celebration. And I want you to think about doing something like that when you do a Give It 10. So I want you to fist bump yourself. I want you to high five yourself in the mirror. I want you to do a little happy dance. Yeah, think about that celebration. And you might feel a little bit daft doing it. So even if it's just a little smile to yourself. Now, of course, you probably forget to do the celebration. I quite often forget to do it, but I don't really need to do it anymore because Give It 10 has just become such a big part of my life and what I do. But certainly if you try and do those celebrations when you start, because it really will start cementing it in your brain, you'll give your brain that little bit of a dopamine hit, and you're kind of tricking your brain a little bit, but it does work. It really does work. So think about what your celebration might be, a little fist bump, high five in the mirror, whatever that looks like for you, and that's your TEN strategy to remember to do a Give It 10. Anyway, talking of that, it's time to do another Give It 10. Quite often when I'm out on these walks or runs, I try to do a arms, abs, legs type thing, just to try and remember to mix it up. Sometimes I just do all arms, sometimes just all legs, sometimes just all abs. But we're kind of mostly doing legs at the moment because, as I said, I'm going to start Couch to 5K, my version of it, next week. And I really want to focus on building my leg strength and building my back strength. I do core work most days. Again, I'll do another video on the core and the back, specifically for my lower back. We'll go through that on another video. But for today, let's do a bit more leg work. Don't forget, don't just watch it, join in. Let's do 10 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. High five yourself. Hope you did that with me. Okay, so TEN, trigger, easy, need, exclamation mark, celebrate, you'll give it 10 wins, and we will make this a habit. So this is all about getting into the habit, and we can start to take your life in a different direction. That's it for me for today. I'm going to do a little bit of jogging now just to continue this walk and to slowly begin my couch to 5k journey. And let's see if we can get me to park run by September. See you later. Cheers.